Hey there, it's Marley. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my September TBR. So I'm going to talk about all the books I plan to read in the month of September, my birthday month. Basically, the different sections of this video is I'm going to talk about some of the books that I already have planned to read. And then at the end, we're going to pull a couple of my TBR cards. We're still making our way through this deck that I've been using for a while now. I think we're only going to pull 2 cards this month because I do have quite a few other books kind of already planned. So to start out, the book that I'm reading with my friends, with my book club that I have in real life, is going to be How to Age Disgracefully by Claire Pooley. This is a book that was not on my radar at all until it was chosen for the book club. It seems like it's going to be a cozy mystery kind of vibe, a little bit more of a comedic book. It seems to be about a senior's home. This woman starts working there and getting involved with the social club that they have there, but I guess they have some sort of secrets. I don't know, it's not what she expects. And then the city threatens to doom the community center building, which I guess the seniors use along with the daycare. So I guess the senior citizens end up teaming up with the daycare to save their community center. And it says, together this group's unorthodox methods may actually work as long as the police don't catch up with them first. So I guess they're kind of the ones breaking the law in this book. So hopefully this is fun and hopefully it's a good book to discuss. Then I'm actually going on a road trip with my sister and it's going to be a lot of driving. So I think we will definitely listen to a few audiobooks on this trip. To be honest, I have not spoken with her about which book she would like to read, but I just kind of looked at the Libby app at my library and saw a couple books that didn't have any wait list on them. So there might be good options for us to just kind of pick last minute. I think we would definitely be interested in reading a romance and also a thriller. I feel like both of us like those genres. So for romance, I'm thinking of suggesting The Right Swipe by Alicia Ray, which I guess is the first book in a series. I didn't realize that, but it's about 2 rival dating app creators. Oh, I guess they end up meeting on a dating app, these 2 people, and then she thinks he ghosts her or whatever, and then they end up meeting again when she sees he's actually one of her rival dating app creators. I guess they both created different dating apps. So I don't know, I feel like that could be fun. Another romance is Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I have read from this author before and I really liked her book. This one has a really fun premise. It's about, I think, a weather girl and then a sports reporter, and they both decide to kind of team up to meddle in their bosses' lives. It's giving, is it called The Setup? That rom-com movie with Zoe Deutsch and Glenn Powell, where they're both kind of messing with their bosses to make their lives better. It sounds very similar. But yeah, this one was available on Libby, so I think this would be a good option. And then in terms of thriller books, there's this book called An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. These are authors I've definitely been hearing about in the thriller space for a long time, but I've never read from them yet. So it's about a girl who agrees to be a test subject in a psychological study, but then the line between what's real and what is one of the experiments blurs. Caught in a web of attraction, deceit, and jealousy, Jess quickly learns that some obsessions can be deadly. Okay, sorry I'm reading the description off screen. I just didn't know the description before. Another thriller I'm considering, again, Megan, if she ends up watching this video, let me know if you're interested in any of these books. So the next one I'm thinking is Playing Nice by J.P. Delaney. This one's interesting because it's about, I guess, this couple and this family, and then one day they get a knock at the door and it's a different family saying that their kids, their babies, were switched at the hospital, and so they both took home the wrong child. And so now they're in this dilemma, I guess, where they're like, well, we've been raising this kid. Now do we switch? Like, do we sue the hospital? I don't know. And then I'm guessing maybe there's a chance that these people are lying. Like, I don't know. It seems like a bit of an interesting premise. So those are some of the ones I'm thinking for this road trip I'm going to do. Then I have 3 more books planned for my monthly reading blog. Every month I do one reading blog with some sort of theme, and I'll let you guys guess what you think the theme is. They are all 3 thriller books. So I'm excited. It's my favorite genre, but I just have not been reading enough thriller books lately. I'm just not prioritizing it. So I'm excited to do this vlog. But first up, we have Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. And I've read one book from this author and I really liked it. So definitely excited to read more from her. This is about a married couple and then their son is kidnapped. And then it's a year later and we're just seeing where this couple is at. They're not doing well. It seems like the husband's cheating on the wife and the wife is like, no, I already lost my son. Like I cannot lose my husband. And then I guess there's some secrets going on. Overwhelmed by tragedy, a woman desperately tries to save her marriage in an award-winning book of psychological suspense. So, all right. Then we have Look Closer by David Ellis. I definitely heard good things about this one. Again, we're following a married couple. Seems like they have a pretty decent life together. Beautiful socialites, I guess. But then their web of secrets begins to unravel. There's an affair. There's a $20 million trust fund, grudge, obsession, revenge. So giving very like domestic thriller again. Prepare to question everything you think you know in this wickedly clever novel in greed, revenge, obsession, and quite possibly the perfect murder. So yeah. And then the last one for that vlog is going to be Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. This is a bit of a newer book. I'm pretty sure I heard people talk about it just in the last year or two. It says for fans of The Silent Patient and Gone Girl, so love that. Hitchcock inspired psychological thriller about two women who end up meeting and deciding they are going to kill for each other. So if I kill for you, you kill for me. They both have men that they want to get revenge on, that they want to kill, that have like really wronged them. So that definitely sounds interesting. Then also in the plot, it says that there's also this other woman who's just at home and then suddenly her home is invaded and she's attacked. And so I guess that's another part of the story. Anyways, heard good things about this thriller too. So those are all of the books that I have planned for this month. Let me know if you've read any of them and what your thoughts were. The last two books, we're gonna pull out my handy dandy TBR cards again. As always, I'll probably try to pick more books from my physical TBR to get through those, especially because I'm not reading any books from my physical TBR this month with the travel and stuff. And I just don't own any of the books that I'm planning to read this month. So without further ado, let's pick the first card. Choose a book whose author's surname begins with L. So author with the last name starting with L. Let's see. Laini Taylor, but that's her first name. Lee Bardugo, but it's her first name. Oh, here's one. Okay, looks like we are having a very thriller heavy month. She Didn't See It Coming by Sherry LaPena. I went to an author event with her and actually learned her name is pronounced LaPena, not Lapina, like I always thought. But I guess she is married to a Spanish man, so I'm assuming that is why that's the pronunciation. Anyways, but her name obviously starts with an L. Yeah, I think this is pretty much a typical Sherry LaPena domestic thriller. This time though, it's taking place in like a condo building rather than like a neighborhood. But yeah, it's about a couple, of course, and then the wife goes missing. Basically, the husband gets a call from their kid's school saying, hey, your wife didn't pick up your kid, and he's like, that's weird. And then he comes home and sees like all his wife's stuff is still at the apartment, still at the condo, and it doesn't seem like she ever actually left the building, but she's missing. So I think that'll be a little bit of a fun story to be taking place in this condo. Kind of gives vibes of that Riley Sager book that's just in that like apartment building. But yeah, so excited to read this. I always read her books like really quickly. For the most part, I enjoy them. Sometimes there's been definitely some misses over the years. But now for our second and final card. Choose a book which begins with a prologue. Okay, I think we finally made it through all the TBR cards because I feel like I've had this before. So I think I might have finally gotten through all the cards. But okay, choose a book which begins with a prologue. I should definitely have that. I feel like I have a lot of fantasy on my cart here. A lot of fantasies have prologues. So let's see. Prologue. Okay, so this is an option, but do I want that one? This technically has a prologue. It's not called a prologue, like labeled, but there is a little chapter before we get into the main story. So it's kind of up to me which of these I want to choose here. But you know what? I feel like I should go with this one, Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I read the first book in this duology not too long ago, so it would be nice to just finish off the series before it's been too long since I read the first book and I've forgotten everything. Even though it wasn't my favorite, I do still think I gave the first book 4 stars, sorry. But yeah, it's about these two people in this fantasy world where there is this war going on between the gods. So Iris is the girl, what was the guy's name? Roman? So they're both journalists at this newspaper and they're like rivals. And then they both start communicating secretly with each other through these magical typewriters. Iris doesn't know that she's talking to Roman, but Roman knows. And that was like my biggest issue I had with the first book, because I didn't like that there was that power dynamic where one of them knew and one of them didn't. It was a fantasy, but it was very heavily focused on the romance, which is again why it wasn't totally my favorite, but I did still enjoy it. So it had quite a cliffhanger at the end. So yeah, I'll put this on my TBR, and there we go. All right, that is going to be my September TBR. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And please subscribe if you're not already for more bookish videos like this. Leave me a comment if you have thoughts on any of these books, of course. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon with a brand new video very soon. Bye.